Hey, you guys. You guys are going to get like the crazy hair because I just came in from doing chores. So it's like the crazy winter hat hair. You guys get me all natural, so it's got to happen. So, all right. So we are making cheesy scalloped potatoes tonight, and I'm going to start shredding them in my food processor. This recipe is inside the cookbook. It is on page 84. Old-fashioned scalloped potatoes. And then also, I don't know if Jackie's on here or not, but I did find the honey garlic pork chop recipe. It is on page 83 that you were looking for last week. If you have not ordered my cookbook, here it is. You can email me at abhomestead22@gmail.com. I will leave my email down below. They are $32. That's including shipping. It has over 230 nourishing meals for your family included. So if you're interested in that, send me an email. We'll get you the recipes, all right? But this one is on page 84. I'm actually making this ahead for Christmas because this is one of our sides. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I've got, it's closer to 3 pounds potatoes, but the recipe only calls for 2.5, so use your judgment. I like my 9x13 pans to be like completely full to the top. So we're gonna fill it to the top with 3 pounds of potatoes. This is gonna get loud, but shouldn't last very long. I'm just gonna use my Ninja food processor to go ahead and chop all these potatoes really, really quickly. I think it's full, so I'm going to dump it. Hi, Missy. Thanks for jumping on. And Jackie. We're just shredding these. You could do this by hand, but honestly, I already had my shredder slicer blade in my food processor because I shredded all the cheese for this recipe. So, whoops. So like I said, this is supposed to be 2.5 pounds of potatoes, but I'm going to do about 3. It fills up a 13x9 pan. You can hand slice these too. I'm just one of those people that when it comes... Hey, Betty? Yeah? I'm live on my class now. So can you be quiet? Thank you. I'm one of those people that, did you come in from the Arctic cold? You guys want to see her? Oh my gosh.
No, I just come.
Let's show them you. There she is. Oh my gosh, do you need help? Here. Okay, no frost nip, right? Okay.
I just did not do a little bit.
Okay, so you know where all your things go, right?
Yeah.
Don't leave them on the floor like that. Make sure you pick them up.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Oh!
And take off your boots, okay? Take off your boots.
I need hot water on my face.
Okay, well you need to go over next to the wood stove, okay? All right, back to grinding, guys. I just have a few more to do out of the 3 pounds, okay? I love this food processor. If you guys are in the market for it, I'm sure, and this is an old one, it's like a year old. But this one's awesome. It is the Ninja Auto IQ professional processor by Ninja. I went with this because this is like the cheapest food processor you can buy and still make nut butters without your food processor starting on fire. And yes, I've experienced that. So that's why I bought this one. But it's got blades and chopping blades and slicing blades, which is what we're using for the potatoes, and shredding blades for cheeses, carrots and whatever. I will say that if you have small children and you're loading your dishwasher, make sure that when your gut tells you you probably shouldn't put this into the dishwasher while they're looking at the dishes. Let that gut feeling, Don't put it into your dishwasher and let your kid go through your dishwashers, because little William, he was probably 2 or 2.5. He got his little finger stuck in the shredding, or is it shredding? What is this? Dicing? No. What is this? It's a slicer, the slicing blade, okay? And it was stuck in it was bad. So, just a little warning, mamas, when you go to put this into your dishwasher, if your kid is close and your gut tells you to take it out, so you don't have to have what happened to us happen to you. It's definitely not worth it.
Yeah.
All right, so what I was saying is I love to have sliced potatoes that are all the same thickness in my scalloped potatoes. It's just a preference of mine. If you don't care, you could have totally chopped these by hand. Not a big deal. All right, I'm going to move you guys over to the other counter. So hang on, we're going to move. Yeah, it's not turned on yet.
Turn on it.
I will in just a minute.
Hi.
I get the people set up. Bethany says hello, everyone. All right. Let's see what comments I missed, Bethany.
Okay.
Okay, what's up?
What?
Macy said hello, and Jackie is on. Awesome. Okay, so yeah.
I'm gonna get a present from Mom, because me and we had a partner, so we had to clean up the bathroom and stuff. And we did, so I cleaned the refrigerator, the white refrigerator.
Yes.
And so then I can have money.
Okay, so first step of making scalloped potatoes is to take a medium skillet, and this is a little extra butter. I always go heavy on the butter, but 4 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to turn the skillet over medium heat, and we're going to melt it.
That's it.
In the meantime, we are going to take one yellow onion, and we're going to dice it up. Okay, here we go. You guys get to watch Bethany stir it around like crazy. Okay. And William's back there too. William, are you going to say hello? Hello. Look at all the help I could possibly want for the kitchen. You could use a white onion if you want. I just lean more towards the yellow onions.
Mom?
Not bad. No, it's okay. It's just from the pan. It's all right.
From oil.
Yeah, it's from lard and stuff. Oh, that's the other thing you can do. Why don't you put the butter down? Like, the butter's enjoying being tortured, but I do have another thing you could do, Bethany.
What?
Yeah. See that pan right there?
Yeah.
It's a 9x13 pan. We have to grease that. So what do we grease it with? Do you remember?
I know.
What's it called? Lard. Okay.
I can do it with this.
Do you know where the lard is?
No.
Okay, it's into the refrigerator. See if you can reach it. If not, I'll come help you.
Oh, in the refrigerator?
Yeah, it's into the other door. So we're going to grease our 9x13 pan with lard. You sure could grease it with coconut oil, butter. That's it. 2 hands, please. You sure could use coconut oil, butter, tallow, all good choices. We're going to do lard. Okay, here you go. Here's your paintbrush. Go put it all over the pan back there. Okay?
Not a paint.
Yeah, paintbrush. Okay, I'm going to keep on slicing the onion.
Okay, I'll do. William, you're not supposed to do it.
What's the temperature where you guys are at? Because we're supposed to get like, we're in the polar Arctic blast right now.
And do you know that tomorrow, William, stop it. Tomorrow, we're gonna have low, high winds and what was it? What was it, Mom?
It's a blizzard.
A blizzard.
Yeah.
And in the field, we make big houses because there's like this cod.
Of snow?
Some snow, and we made a house on top of it.
Uh-huh. She's going to do my lard lard, and then she's gonna go help you guys.
Okay.
Anyway, here we're supposed to, right now it's negative temperatures. I think it was a high of 10 degrees. It's supposed to be a low of like negative 30 tonight. And then Saturday is supposed to be a high of like negative 10. But wind chills are supposed to be somewhere between negative 48 and negative 60 here. So it'll be a nice cold Christmas. Okay, so I chopped the onion and I put it inside the pan. You almost done with your lard there?
Hey, Bethany, once you're done, there's a movie on in the building. Okay?
Okay.
Blue's Clues.
Ooh, Blue's Clues.
You have Blue's Clues?
William's out. Okay. You guys are entertaining, but not that entertaining.
Come on, Bethany.
Okay. Bye, Beth. Thanks for your help.
Yeah. Thanks for the song.
Oh my goodness. No, wow, not as cold here in Kentucky. It's a little cold. We're going to have, I think it's negative, what is it, negative 10, but then we have like, 60-mile-per-hour winds. So when that happens, it's bitter cold. My eyelashes were actually freezing when I did chores yesterday, and this morning. So it wasn't too much fun. This is such an easy recipe, you guys. So we're just going to saute the onions until they're translucent, especially for my husband because he hates crunchy onions. And then we're going to go ahead and preheat the oven to 350 degrees. And I'm going to check to make sure my oven is empty. Okay. It is empty. I have like melted things in there because I forgot there was something in there that couldn't catch on fire. I'm going to go ahead and saute this until it is translucent or soft, which we're almost there. And then the next stage is going to be to add a thickener. So tonight I'm going to be using cassava flour to thicken this. You could also use cornstarch if you would like. You could also omit the thickener altogether. And instead you could thicken the sauce that we're about to make with 2 cups of cheddar cheese that's extra on top of what the recipe calls for. Another thing you can keep in mind is that this doesn't have to be a high carb type of meal. You can totally use rutabagas for this as well. You can just chop them up just like we did the potatoes, and you're going to layer them in the same process, and then just make sure that you're not using thickener for the sauce. You just use the cheese to thicken it, and it becomes a low carb, low starch meal for anybody who has those type of dietary needs. This is our holiday meal, so I'm not going to worry about healing my cavities for one day, or actually just one meal. We're going to go ahead and celebrate Christmas and still eat healthy, but not worry about a little bit of cassava flour. Okay. The onions are probably sauteed enough for most people, but definitely not for my husband. So we're going to have to keep on sauteing for a few more seconds here. I will make sure that I put up a pre-scheduled event for next week's cooking class, just so you guys know. So that'll be coming up with what we're going to cook and ingredients. As always, will be in the description box below the event, just in case you want to go out and buy those groceries for next week. All right, so while this finishes up sauteing, in the back 13 by 9 pan, I'm going to go ahead and get all of our potatoes, and we're going to move them into there, okay? Now, you can totally put in 1 pound of ground beef. In fact, my recipe in my cookbook on page 84 does call for 1 pound of ground beef, and you would be browning that in here with the onion right now. But I'm going to be serving this with ham, and so we don't need any more meat in this meal, so I'm going to skip the meat tonight because this is going to get saved till Christmas. I'm just making it ahead tonight with you guys. But if you are making this as a main dish, you sure could add a 1 pound of ground beef in here, and you'd be sauteing it along with your onion. Okay, so I got my potatoes. I love Yukon Gold. You could use whichever brand of potato that you want to use. And we're just gonna fill our pan with it. I try to kind of use my fingers to break apart the little thin slices of potato, because you want the cream sauce to be able to get in between them. I always just have naked potatoes and nobody wants to eat that, so we gotta have the cream sauce go down. And potatoes are a great excuse to get it to go down, or rutabagas if you're doing the low carb version of this. I'm going to put about half of them in there and we'll dump some of the sauce on and then finish with the other half, okay? I usually like to fill my 13 by 9 all the way to the top because when potatoes bake, they absorb the liquid and they go down in the pan. And I want a full 13 by 9 pan to feed a whole bunch of hungry people. How's it going, Olivia? What's up? I'm not sure. You've got everyone's attention from all over the world, though. She likes that, everybody. Don't take it personal. She's that cool, almost preteen, you know. All right. The onion is finally looking translucent and soft, so we're going to go ahead and add our thickener. Like I said, if you're not eating thickeners right now, stay on the channel. I will explain in the later step how to thicken this up without thickener. So for those of us who are using thickener, we are using either 2 tablespoons of like a sprouted flour or 4 tablespoons of cornstarch or cassava flour or arrowroot powder, okay? So I'm going to go ahead with my 4 tablespoons. Are you here to help, beautiful one? Oh.
Anyway, what is for dinner? Chili, right?
Yeah, you can get it out if you would like.
Where is it?
It's into the freezer.
That freezer.
Yep, and you can put it in the pot that's back there. We're going to just warm it right on up. I made some freezer meals ahead of time because life is crazy right now. And so I just made huge batches of chili and Cajun bean soup. That recipe's up here on the channel. The chili's up here on the channel. And also, let's see, chicken pot pie soup is into the freezer. They all freeze so well.
What's freezer?
The small one on the left. Yep. Okay, so I just incorporated it in with the onion and I'm going to let it cook for about 30 seconds. Just so that the flour mixture takes on the taste of the onion instead of tasting like a powdery, chalky flour. And then we're going to add some milk. I'm going to start measuring out 3 cups of milk. I'm using raw milk today, but obviously it's going to get cooked, so doesn't matter if it's raw on your end. If you can afford organic, that's awesome. If not, go for some whole fat milk. What's now? What now?
Where am I putting this?
Yep, inside that big pot there. Okay, so this is 3 cups of milk. I'm going to start whisking it in slowly. We don't want to add it all at once. Probably just add about a cup there. Give it a good whisk. And what this allows is for that liquid to come up to a simmer and thicken. We've discussed it before in previous videos, but in order for you to judge how much thickener you need when making a sauce, you need to pour slowly, whisk, and let that liquid come back up to a simmer to see if you need any more thickener. People who are learning to make sauces often make that mistake where they either add all the liquid too fast or they judge it before it comes up to a simmer and they add too much thickener. What, honey?
This one. No.
Okay, so put it underneath the faucet, run some hot water on it. Yep, and I'll give you some scissors and you can cut it loose. There you go. All right, so now this looks liquidy right now, this sauce, okay? I don't know if the camera's even picking up on that. Move you guys in for a close-up. All right. Okay, this is liquidy. See that? But it's also not at a simmer yet, so we're not going to judge this. We're going to let it come back up to a simmer. And while we're waiting, we're going to add the rest of our seasoning. So we need 2 tablespoons of parsley. This is dried parsley. If you're using fresh, the amounts will be different. Then you need 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. This is such an easy recipe, but it's so good. How's that going over there, Nevaeh? Sounds epic. And then 1 1/4 teaspoon of healthy salt. We want colored salt, pink Himalayan salt, Celtic sea salt, something that's not white table salt. 1 1/4 teaspoon. And obviously, if you want more salt, add it to taste at the table. Okay. So this is where, I don't know if you guys, if that's picking up on camera yet, but it's already thickened again. We have just a little bit more milk to add. But this is where, if you were making this with no thickener, you would add all of your milk. You would bring it up to a simmer, and then you would add your 2 cups of extra cheddar cheese. It's very good. It gets it nice and thick. It's a nice, thick, cheesy, creamy sauce to go over all your potatoes. There you go. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just whisking because we've got those onions on the bottom. I don't want them to burn. And we're going to wait for this to come up to a simmer before we judge whether or not we need just a little bit more thickener. We'll find out. I think it's going to be thick enough, but we're just going to have to see. And then, like I said, we're preheating our oven over 350 degrees. So we're going to pour, once this is done, we're going to pour half of the liquid onto half of the potatoes. Just kind of stir it around, add the rest of the potatoes, and then add the rest of the sauce. And cheese and glitter at the end. We can't forget the glitter.
What's the glitter?
Parsley, baby. What do you think?
Fine.
Okay. Another seasoning that's supposed to go in here are green chives. I typically have those in my garden. I don't have any right now. My garden is frozen solid. So if you have some of those, that's awesome. Go ahead and put in 1 tablespoon of chopped chives that are fresh. Instead, I'm going to put in about 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder into the sauce. Look at that. It turned out nice and thick. You guys can see that. I always turn on the light and then it makes it worse, but okay. This is done. That's the thickness we're looking for. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the heat. Get a spoon of some sort here. Use this one. I'll move you guys in a little bit closer, and we'll finish off this dish. It's so easy. Okay, so here's our potatoes here, and we're just gonna spoon this yummy sauce over the potatoes. Okay, they're still there. Everybody's still there. Did I leave the freezer door open? I'm gonna get to your comment.